Hello and welcome to another Learn Scratch tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can make a steady hand maze using Scratch 3. So if we click Start, here we appear in a maze, and the idea is you've got to get to the orange dot without touching the wall or any of the obstacles. If you do touch a wall, then it goes back to the start screen and it's game over. And all you do is you just got to go through. Let's see if I can beat my best time through the maze. I did a quick shortcut there because otherwise this video would be about 5 minutes me just getting through the maze before we start the actual coding. Obviously you don't want that shortcut there. Ooh, let's go around here. Mine's got four levels. Ooh. There we go. And at the end of the game I've only got 4 levels. It says game complete. If your time is faster than the fastest ever time that's stored as a cloud variable, so it's stored on Scratch's server, then the fastest time gets updated on Scratch's website. There we go. Good. So let's get started. Here we go. Scratch 3 GUI. And what we'll do first of all is we'll get rid of Scratch the Cat because we don't need Scratch the Cat, so let's get rid of him. And we're going to switch to the backdrops. And we're going to convert to a bitmap. So we're going to do our start screen first of all. So let's call this the start screen. And we'll click on the fill and let's just change ours to, let's go over here. I'm going to do 60, 60, 100. 60, 60, 100. That's okay. It's important to remember those numbers because it makes it easier later on. Because we need exactly the same colour each time. So 60, 60, 100, good. And then what we'll do is we'll paint the backdrop, so there's the background, which is brilliant. Then we'll use the text. Let's change the text to marker, because I like that. Change my saturation down to 0, and we'll put steady hand game. There we go, brilliant. Or you can call it like follow the mouse game or something more exciting. Obviously you want to spend more time making your game look nice and pretty and stuff. I'm just doing the tutorial, so I'm moving through quite quickly. There you go. So there's my steady hand game, which is brilliant. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create the first sprite, which is going to be the start button. But before we do that, let's just code this backdrop. Let's get it started. And what we'll say is, okay, when start button is clicked, what we want to do is we will switch the backdrop to the start screen. There we go, that's brilliant. So now when we press start, no matter what screen it is, it should switch through to the start screen there. And now let's create our start button. So go here, we'll go to paint, and then what we'll do is we'll choose the circle. There we are, nice little white circle like that. Draw a white circle like that, that's brilliant. And then we'll use the text button. I'll just do saturation to 100 for the moment. It seems to be picking random colours here, isn't it? Don't know why it's doing that. Start. That's a really horrible start colour, but never mind. There we go. Start. So there's my start button. What we'll do is just move it down there to there. That's fine. So there's the start button, and click on the reshape. And what we'll do is we'll click on here and we'll just move these bits out a bit there so that it looks a little bit less like an oval and a bit more like a sort of cartoon style button. There we go, so there's our start there. Also we'll click there, let's just do a different colour there, and we'll do a bit of a border. Hey, there you go, that's nice. It's a really, really, really horrible colour. Brilliant. Good. So there's our start button. And let's go to our code. Let's call this, rename that start button. It's always a good idea to rename things. There's our start button. And all we do here is we say, okay, when the green flag is clicked, what we'll do here is we will, when it's clicked, we need to hide that button and then we need to change it to level 1. Okay, so how are we going to do that? So, first of all, when start clicked, we will hide. When start is clicked, we show the button because it needs to appear. And then what we do here is we say, okay, when this sprite is clicked, so that'll be in events. When this sprite is clicked, we're going to hide that button, and then we're going to broadcast level 1. So what we'll do here, events. There we are. There you go. We'll do the broadcast level 1 before we hide that sprite. Actually, new message, and we'll call it start the game. Good. There you go, good. So start the game. So when we click on this sprite, it starts the game. So what does it mean to start the game? Well, first of all, we're going to have to change the level through to level 1. So here, if we go to variables, click on variables, make ourselves a new variable, call that variable the level number, because in this variable we're going to store what level number we're on. And at the start of the game, once we press, just before we broadcast start the game, we'll switch our level number to level 1. So set the level to 1, broadcast start the game, and then we're going to hide that sprite straight afterwards. So level 1, what does that mean? Well, the main thing that's going to happen on level 1 is the backdrop's going to change to a different backdrop. So let's create a level 1 backdrop. Here we go. If we click onto the stage, there it is. Let's go to our backdrops. Let's create ourselves a new backdrop, and we're going to paint it. Again, convert to bitmap. And what we're going to do here is we're going to paint it. There's our fill. And here, let's make sure, again, make sure it's 60. Oops. 60. 60, 100. There we go, good. That's really important later on, you'll see, otherwise your game won't work properly. There you go. So now we've got the background fill, which is there, which is brilliant. What we also need to do now is also, where this start button was, we're going to have to do a similar size area that is going to be our safe area. So we'll do that with a brush. There we are. In fact, no, I'll do it with a circle thing. Should we do a circle? Get the saturation down to 0 so it comes as white, and then just draw a circle. And the idea being is that you put the circle overlapping bigger than the start button. The reason being is that when the person clicks the start button, that start button is then going to hide. If it wasn't overlapping, there is a chance that the start button, the mouse might be on the blue area, so then you get game over straight away, which is no good. So slightly bigger, which is good, so there's a little bit. And then what I'll do here is I'll click on the pen. Let's make that a bit bigger to about 40 or something. A little bit bigger. And we'll do our first level. There you go. So first level, nice and easy. We'll do the spinning area here or something, so that little spinny thing. And then up over here, that's where it will end. So that's okay there. What we'll also do here is we will do, let's go for colour. Let's go, I'm going to go with 30 and then 30 for this one. Doesn't really matter which one you choose, as long as you choose the same one each time. And we'll look at why that is in a minute. There you go. Well, that's a bit nicer anyway. So there's my little green dot where it's going to be the end of the level. Good. Okay, so that's there. That's your that's now, and this is going to be called 1. Stage costume 1. So here, what we've got now is we've got costume 1. Although here the number is number 2, so that's no good. So in your game, it's really important, otherwise it won't work, is that you must move level 1 to be in a position of level 1. And each new level that you create, if we create another one, there's level 3, they've all got to go, let's do level 2, they've all got to go in the right position. So level 1, which is 1, level 2, which is 2, which means that the start screen, if you have 100 levels, your start screen actually is going to be right at the end. And the reason for that in a minute, as we're going to see in 1 second, is what we're going to say is here in our backdrops. Let's click here on our stage for our backdrop. In fact, let's click on the stage to make sure we're in the right place. Is we're going to say, okay, here's what happens. So when I receive start the game, all we have to do is do another broadcast that says start level. There you go. So this one here, when we receive start the game, broadcast start level. And then when we receive this one, the start level broadcast, what we do is we switch the backdrop to, and all we need to do now is switch the backdrop to whatever the level number is. Because if you remember here, when the start button is clicked, then sets the level to number 1 anyway. And now if we go back to that stage, here, whatever level number we're on, it's going to automatically switch that backdrop to the correct level. So this means now that it'll work for every single level we're on, regardless of which level we start on. So let's just test that out. Let's see how that works. So now we press start. Here we're at the start thing. And if we click the start button, it takes us right through to level 1. And we can just move our mouse through to the end. Brilliant. There you go. So now what we need to do is we're going to start programming the actual mouse pointer so that if we touch the blue, we get game over and we go back to the start. And if we touch the green, we go on to the next level. So what we're going to need to do now is we need to create a new sprite and paint a new sprite. Also, we'll click the zoom in because it needs to be nice and close. We need to see that center hair there. And what we'll do is just click that there. I'll just use, oops, that won't work. Let's just set this to the same color as, in fact, actually, no, we'll do it, set it to white, so it's the same color as the clear backdrop. And what we'll do there is just do a dot. Make sure it's right in the center of that crosshair. You've got a little dot there. Good. So there you go. So that's our costume. And this is called a mouse pointer. Mouse pointer. There you go. Got that mouse pointer. And what we do now is we say, OK, code at the start of the game. Where's the start? So when the green flag is pressed, what we'll do is we'll hide. And then when we receive start the game, which is here, when I receive start the game, what we're going to do is we're going to show. And once we've shown, we're then going to get it to start constantly moving to the correct position. So what we'll do now is we'll do a quick forever. And we will go to looks, so motion, go to, and we're going to go to the mouse pointer. There you go. So it's going to move to wherever I move the mouse. Go to the mouse pointer. And then what we can say is, OK, if we are touching the color blue, let's have a look. So we go touching. If we are touching color, and then click on that one there, and we'll pick that one. So if they're touching the color blue, then we'll broadcast game over. Broadcast, new message, game over. And we'll stop this script because we don't need that script if it's game over. So we'll stop this script. That's okay. So if we're touching the color blue, broadcast game over, stop this script. If we are touching the color green, if we are touching the color green, there you go, if they're touching that color green, then what we will do here is we'll change the level by 1. So change, make sure it says change and not set. Change level number by 1. So if it was on level 1, it's then going to go on to number 2. And then once we've changed the level, we will broadcast start level. So what this means now is that here, it doesn't matter what level you're on, it's simply going to move on to the next level and then start the level, which will then be used to start any moving things and stuff like that. What we'll also do as well is, with the start game script, as well as showing it there, we're going to wait a little while, like 0.2 seconds, right at the start. The reason being is that when you click start, there might be a delay in the screen swapping to the next screen and putting on this backdrop, and therefore it might cause it to crash or cause it some unexpected consequences. So we'll just wait a second before we gear up this moving thing. So maybe do 0.1 seconds. Let's do 0.1. There we go. Okay, good. So let's see if this works now. So hopefully, if we we need to do the game over thing, don't we? If when we broadcast game over, what we need to do then is when I receive game over, the start button is going to need to show again. So duplicate the start, duplicate show. So when we receive game over, we're going to show the start button again, which is great. Also, if you go to the stage, click on the stage again, and we're also going to have to go here, and when I receive game over, we're going to have to switch the backdrop to the start screen again, just like here. Good. So hopefully, if we click start now, it goes to the right level, and there you go. Brilliant. Good. Also, you notice the mouse pointer there is the little dot there is still showing, so we can get rid of that. Go to the mouse pointer here, and we can say, okay, when I receive game over, we'll also hide the mouse pointer as well. So let's have a quick look at that again. Click start. Good. Click start again. There you go. So that's all fine. Then there you go. So it's now switched on to level number 3. Brilliant. Good. So there's that part. Let's just go to the backdrops again. Go to the stage. Go to the backdrops. Let's get level 3 sorted. So sorry, level 2 sorted. So there's level 1, and there's the end of level 1. So what we need to do now is get a circle. Click on level 2. Convert it to bitmap. There we are. Let's just hide that. Hide that minute. Oh, no. Let's just hide that a second. So go back to the stage. So level 2, that's where level 1 ends. So you need to make sure that level 2, in fact, actually before we do that, let's just paint it all in. Let's go on our fill. 60. 60, 100, good, there we go. So there's our level 1 ends there. So then what we need to do here is draw a circle for the start of level 2, making sure it appears exactly in that spot. So what we'll do next, circle, colour, saturation 0. Let's just have another look about there. Just have to sort of guesstimate it. You might have to do it a few times. Yeah, that's fine, isn't it? You might actually want to do a slightly bigger circle, just to make sure you've got it however you need it. There we go. And for level 3, I'll do the what should we do? In fact, we'll do a spiral. Here we go. So we'll do a spiral, and then it can end in the middle there. I think that'll be good, wouldn't it? There we go. Good. So there's my level 3 spiral. Sorry, level 2 spiral. And we'll also get that colour. So to get that colour, what we'll do here is so look, click on the circle, click on the fill, and use the pipette tool again, the eyedropper. There you go. So it's got the colour on that one. So you get it from the previous level. Get it. Choose your colour from the previous level, and then go on to level 2, and then you can do your shape. So it's just a bit fiddly. There you go. So there we go. So now we've got level 1, level 2. Let's just add another level, level 3 again. Rename it to level 3. Put it in the right place. So hopefully now, if we run the project, let's see if this works. Start. If we go over the line, it brings us back to the beginning. But if we get all the way to the green, it then moves us on to the next level. Now at the moment, it's got a bit of a glitch in that it moved us forward 2 levels. So how do we do that? Well, that's nice and simple. All we do now is we go back to our mouse pointer, because the mouse pointer, go to the code. So if touching color blue, change the level by 1, broadcast start level, and then what we'll do is we'll just put a bit of a weight again in here. Let's just do 0.2 seconds. That should give it time to change the level before it starts going back up to the top of this loop and seeing if it needs to change the level again. So let's just see if that's sorted. That one. There. Oh, that's why I've done that wrong. Oh, hang on a minute. I've completely messed that up. If we go back to our stage, if we look here, I've put the end of the level at the start of the level. So that's not quite right. So let's just change that. I was wondering why that was going wrong. So what we'll do is just use the eraser tool. Oh, no, that's no good. Don't use the eraser tool. Let's use the fill tool and let's make it white. There we go. Good. So that's better. So now, hopefully, if we run the project again, we click Start, we go through. There you go. Now it goes through to the next level. If we keep going around, as you can see, this is why I did that little shortcut on the previous one. There you go. Good. And it goes on to level 3, which we haven't done yet. So we'll leave level 3 aside for the moment. And what we'll do is we'll go back to level 1. And let's do our little spinny thing in level 1. So how do we do that? Well, nice and easy. Create ourselves a new sprite. And we're going to paint this sprite again. And we're going to use bitmap mode. We're going to need that colour again, the 6060. So it's up to you. You can have a type it in, or you can go back to one of your other sprites and get the colour. The fill. In fact, there we are. Let's go back to, let's do it the easy way. Don't we? 60. Come on. Need a steadier hand here. There we go, 60-60, there you go. And what we'll do is we'll draw a nice shape like that. Oops, actually, what we need to do though, no, let's just undo that. We need to move him so that the centre of him, if you look here, is on that centre pivot point, so that when he rotates, he will rotate in a circle around that pivot point in the centre there. Let's just change our backdrops to the correct backdrop, which is level 1 backdrop. And now, there he is. Hey, brilliant. Obviously, you're going to need to mess about with the size of him and things like that. But put him in the place where he needs to start spinning, which is about there, I would say. And then what we'll do is we will code him. So we'll say, okay, when start clicked, what we'll do is we'll hide him. So looks, and we'll hide him. So at the start of the game, he's going to hide. And now what we do is we say, okay, whenever we receive start level, what we're going to do is we're going to check to see if it's my level. So if it's level equals, for this particular one, it's 1. So level variables. If level number equals 1, then what we'll do is we will show. So it's in the looks again, show. And then what we'll do is we will start spinning. So how does this work? Well, we're going to need an infinite loop because we don't know what's going to happen there. Is we'll do forever, and all we'll do is motion. And we'll just turn 15 degrees, or whatever you want to do it, however fast you want to do it. And then we'll go to control, and we'll just make him wait 0.2 seconds. So if level is 1, we show. There we go. In fact, actually, what we need to do as well is we also need to, before we do level equals 1, what we'll do here is we'll say, okay, by default, at the start of the level, hide it, because we don't know what level it is, and we'll stop all other scripts on this sprite. There we go. So, when we start this level, we hide and we stop all of the scripts in the sprite. If level equals 1, then we start spinning. That should be okay. Let's have a look. So we press start. Let's see if this works. So again, it's hidden because it's the start of the game. There you go, brilliant. So it's working fine, there you go. And now hopefully, if we move around, it's gone on level 3. So there you go. So it's nice and simple. Let's just call that spinny bar. There we go. Good. Yeah, spinning bar. That's brilliant. So that's level 1 done. Start. It's got a spinning bar. If I touch it, it's game over. Okay. So here also is it's still there on the start screen when we got game over. So again, go to events. When I receive game over, we'll hide the sprite and we'll stop other other scripts in this sprite. So that will hide him again. You'll probably need another one for the similar to this for when you receive game complete as well. Maybe. We'll have to find out. So let's have a look. Yeah, so it starts to spin. If we get game over, it's gone. Brilliant. So there you go. So that's level 1's done. Level 2, let's go back to the backdrops. There we go. Go to the backdrops. Let's have a look at level. So level 1's done. Level 2 doesn't need anything. So let's have a go at level 3. So fill, convert to bitmap. Fill, paint it blue again. Let's just hide that sprite a minute. Hide you. It doesn't know when it goes back through to there. So there's level 3. So level 2 starts there. Level 3, we're going to do the moving boxes on this one. So again, oops, leave that there. That's no good. Saturation 0, so we're back now to white. Make sure that you start it. That's quite easy because it's sort of dead central. So about there. Let's just check that. Yeah, that should be fine. That's okay. There we go. What we'll do now is we'll do some squares. Do one square there. Square there. Square there. Square there. There we go. And I'll just join these. 1, 2, 3. Again, you could take more time on your levels. I'm just doing it quickly because it's a tutorial. There we go. So there's level, that level there. Let's go back to level 2 so we can use the fill, not the fill, the circle tool. Click on there, click on the eyedropper. Got that. Got the colour. Now go back to level 3 again. Draw our circle at the end because he's there. There we go. That's all done. Good. And that's fine there. And now all we need to do, so that's that level done, ready to rock. What we need to do now is we need to code the moving boxes that go on level 3. So what we'll do here is we'll create ourselves a new sprite. We're going to paint him. And he is going to be a moving bar. So again, we'll just do a bitmap, a box. We want our colour, which is 60. There we go. We'll just do a bit of a moving box. There we go. So there, he's here, isn't he? There he is. Good. So there he is, ready to rock and start moving up and down. So how are we going to do these moving boxes? Well, the moving boxes, there's going to be 4 of them. So I could, if I wanted, just create 4 separate moving boxes and just duplicate the code. That's quite simple. So all we do here is we'll just call this box 1. There we go. And let's code this box. So again, let's have a look. When I receive game over, we're going to hide. There we go. So that gets when it's game over. And when start clicked, we're going to hide. Let's just duplicate that. Start clicked hide. And when I receive, there we are. When I receive start the level, again we're going to check to see if it's the right level, and if it is, we're going to show and start moving. So nice and simple. If when I receive start level, again do the same trick as the other one. So hide it and stop all of the scripts on this sprite, just in case some of them are moving. Hide it, stop all of the scripts on this sprite, and then again if the level equals this one's level 3, isn't it? If level equals 3, variables, level number. If level number equals 3, then we're going to show, and then we'll start moving up and down. So how does that work? Well, this is nice and simple. You can actually use the motion, and what we'll do is, the way we'll do it, where's my bar gone? Let's just show him. There's my bar. So here what we'll do is we're going to start him at the position we want him to start him. So the go to X is here. So what we'll do here is we'll just do go to X. We'll do about there. You'll probably have to change his size because I think it's probably going to be a bit weird like that. So go to that position there, and then what we'll do is we're just going to make him move up a bit and then move down a bit. So how do we do that? Well, what we do here is we just do a repeat 10, and we will get him to move up. So change his X by 10. So 10 times, change X by 10, waiting, should we do 0.1 seconds in between? Let's try that. 0.1, there we go, duplicate that, and then we'll do that minus 10. Oh, no, not there, sorry, minus 10. There you go. So each time when he gets onto level 2, he's going to go up, and then he's going to go down, and then up and down. That's okay. So let's try that out. Let's see if it goes. There's level 1. Let's get through level 1. Oops. There we go. Level 1. Now on to level 2. Now you can see why I did the little shortcut thing. Right, okay. What we'll do for the moment, while we're a good way of debugging this is, I'll just go to the mouse pointer here where it says touch and color blue. I'll just click on that for a moment. I'll move it off to a different color because I don't want it to keep going. If I'm testing each level out, I don't want to have to keep restarting, going all the way back to the beginning. So I'll just temporarily change that off to a different color at the moment. And then what I can do here is I can do, if let's say I want to do start level 3 for the moment. Let's test these blocks out. What we'll do is we'll say, okay, variables, set level number to 3. This is a little bit of a temporary thing. Set level to number 3, and then broadcast. Where's my broadcast? Change level. Start the level, start level. There you go. So hopefully now, there you go. Start the level. There you go. Brilliant. Oh, why is that doing that? Oh, yeah, that's because I've coded it wrong. So there's a couple of things I've messed up on the code here. Let's just get rid of that. Let's just hide that start thing again. Let's go back to here. First of all, I've completely messed up on my code because I'm not changing the X value because I want it to go up and down. I need to change the Y value. X makes it move across, as you can see my weird box is moving across. So it's actually, you need to change the Y value. It's me not paying attention to what I was doing. There you go. And that's okay, minus 10. And also is these scripts here, if you notice that, then when I did it, just watch now, it goes up, it goes down, and then it stops. Which is not what I wanted really. I wanted it to keep going up and down. And that's because these blocks here need to be inside of a forever loop. There we go. So there you go. So now what will happen is, if we click on that now, it will start going up and down, up and down. There you go. So that's your first of your boxes done there. And what we'll do now is we'll just duplicate that sprite. Here's box 2. Let's move box 2 to where I want him. So it's just going to go there. Again, you can do exactly however you want. So box 2, the only thing that's going to need to change for these ones is this go-to position there. Now, if you look here on his position there, if you go to the motion blocks here, what we're going to do is, if you notice the go-to position there, when I move this box here, it goes to the correct position. So where I want him. So here, that go to X and Y value are correct. These go to X and Y value aren't correct. So you've got two options. You could either drag that in and then just move that other one out, or you could just type in the boxes with a new correct position. So let's have a look. There you go. Good. Brilliant, that's okay. So they're all moving up at the same time. If you want them to move, one going up and down, the other, one going up and the other one going down at the start, then just swap these two repeat blocks, or change that one to be minus y and that one to be plus y, which is fine. Just mess around with these values if they're going too quick or too slow, whatever you want to do. There you go. So let's just do another one, duplicate. That's going to be box 3. Where is box 3? There he is. Let's move box 3 to here. I want it to start there. So what I'll do now is I'll just move that there and put that back. There we go. That's box 3. Duplicate that. He's there. And box 4 is there. So we'll start him here. Again, go there. There we go. Brilliant. So now, level 4. There you go. So I've got a slight error on that box number 3 there. Probably going to want to change his Y position to like minus 100 or something. I would probably do it. Yeah, 100, 130. Again, you could just mess around with that until you get it right. Just using this little trick there, so that you don't have to keep going from level to level to from level to level to level. Again, probably want to change that one. That box here, sort of moving up a bit too much, isn't it? You might want to make it smaller or something. But you can see the idea. That's level 3 sorted, which is good. That's fine. So let's do the one last level, stage 4, and then we'll do the game over screen. And then that's about you ready for having a play. So let's have a look. Let's paint a new one. Now this one, the level, there we go. Let's have a look. Level 4. Let's just paint that. There we go. That's the right paint, which is good. Oh, convert to bitmap. Paint it in blue. And what we need here is from level 3. That's that. We need to. Oh, hang on. Again, make sure I bring it back to the right position and call it costume 4. There we go. So it needs to be there as the start. So what we'll do here is we'll paint that. We'll do a fill colour of white. There we go. And let's just have a look at that again. Okay, so it needs to be about there. There we go. There's the start, and then here's the end. Again, we'll go back to costume 3. Paint another circle. Change the fill. Use the eyedropper, and we'll just do our final circle there. There we go. That's all done there. So that's all you need for level 4 for the actual stage. And then what we'll do is for level 4, there it is. Let's go. There we go. Let's go and do a new sprite. Let's paint, and we're going to need 4 circles. So again, bitmap. 4 circles. Make sure you do it in the center around this dot. It's going to be white. So there's 1. There we go. That's perfect. And all we have to do here. Oh, we actually need 4 dots, don't we, for our background? Let's go back to our backdrop. Let's just do 2 more circles because you're going from these corner to corner safe zones, aren't we? Yeah, there we go. Good. So let's go back to my thing. Okay, so here at the start of level 4, so again we'll go code. Again, same as always, when start clicked, we're going to hide. There you go. And then when I receive, same as before, when I receive start level, we're going to again hide. And we'll stop all other scripts in this sprite, just in case some is already running for some reason. And then we'll do the if, again, if the level equals 4, then we start to do our stuff. So if there's equals 4, you can see how this just works all the way through. It's nice and simple. If level equals 4, then we variable level number equals 4. Then we will show, and we'll start moving. Now this one's quite simple. It's going to start here, so we're going to go to there, move it to where you want it to go to, that's coordinate there, And then here, because we're moving to a fixed point which is there, what we can do is move it to the next position and then use the glide, a 2-second glide. And it will, if you move it to where you want it to end, it will change the glide position here to the end point. So go glide 2 seconds to there, and then glide 2 seconds back, making sure that you move it to where you want it to before you pick up the glide again. So there we go. So that now, again, let's see if this works. Let's do a quick test. So what you can do is, okay, set level to number 4, and then broadcast start level. There you go. So that now, yeah, brilliant. So that's doing exactly what it needs to do. Again, same as before, it's only done it twice because it needs to go, these repeaty things, the glide, need to be inside of a forever loop. There you go. So that's that one done. Perfect. And let's call this circle 1. Moving circle 1. There we go. And now all we need to do is we'll just duplicate that sprite. So we've got another circle, and we'll just change the starting position and the glide times. So he's going to start here. So motion, I've moved into the right position. Let's get that out of the way. Just be careful when you're moving these scripts around that you don't mess up the scripts. But there you go. So it starts there, and he's going to glide to here. And then he's going to glide back to here. There we go. Good stuff. And there you go. Glide 2 seconds, which is fine. Done. So I glide 2 seconds to there, which is brilliant. So that's all done. Now we'll do one more, duplicate, and we'll start him there. There we go. So same thing, get rid of the glides, get rid of the start position. So go to the start position, which is there, and then we'll glide to here. Glide 1 second to 2 seconds. Glide 2 seconds to there, and then glide 2 seconds to there. So hopefully now. There we go. So again, you'll have to test it, make sure it's going at the right speed, make sure you can actually move them quickly enough. There you go. So that should be fine. Just about. That one looks like it might have to be moved up a little bit, but that's okay. So that's all done there. And you could keep going on for as many levels as you like, but what I'm going to show you now is how to do the end screen. So if you've completed it, and do your high score for the time. So what we need to do first of all is let's create ourselves, go onto the stage, let's just stop those, and let's create ourselves a new screen. We'll just do bitmap again, paint it with whatever colour you want this time. I'll do a different colour, so I'm going to do like that colour for the end screen. In fact, no, let's be consistent. Let's stick with what we've got. So 60, there you go, and some text, and put game complete. There we are. Marker game complete. There we are. Good. So there's the game complete screen. There we go. So there's our final one there, game complete screen. This can go. There we go. That can go on number 5, which is okay. So what we can do here is, let's just change that to number 5. Well, it's going to be whatever it's going to need to be, however you've done all your other levels. There's your game complete. And what we'll do now is we'll say, okay, when we get to, where's my start level? Here we go. So when I receive start level, switch to that up to the level number. And now what we can do is this is going to be special, this one. So on your backdrop for your code for the backdrop, okay, you do, okay, if the level, if the level number equals 5, then what we do is we stop all other scripts. In fact, we just stop all scripts actually. If level number equals 5, we're going to stop all scripts. We'll have already switched to the right level number, which is good, and then we're going to stop all scripts, which is fine there. Then what we need to do is we need to do the timer. So in order to do the timer, we're going to need a new variable here and call this time. There we go. And time is going to need to be at the start of the game. We're going to set the time to 0. So at the start of the game, set the time to 0. And then what we do is when we receive start the game here, where it does broadcast start level in your stage, what we also do here is we do two things. We reset the timer, which is a special thing, and then here, variable, we set the time to whatever the timer is. And if we put that inside of a loop, let me show you how this works. Control forever loop. So we set the time to the timer, which your time's there. So now if we click start the game, let's have a look. When I click start, you can see the timer is going up, which is good. It is doing it in sort of seconds and bits of seconds. We don't really want that. We just want whole seconds. So we can go to the operators and we'll just use the round block and set the time to the timer there in the round block. So that now should, there you go, it will just count up in seconds, which is brilliant. There you go. And we should go to the next level and it will keep counting up. But what we do now here is, if the level is 5 at the very end, then we're going to stop all the scripts. But before we do that, what we need to do is we need to do the highest score, the highest ever score. So we need to make a new variable. So we click make a variable. Now I'm still using the beta version of Scratch. So down here, when the full version comes out next month, it should have an option for cloud variables. Just click on the option where it says store in the cloud. And this is, for the moment, I'm just going to do a local variable. So highest, sorry, not highest score. It's going to be the lowest time, isn't it? Lowest ever time. There we go. Okay. So there's the lowest ever time, which is good. What we'll also do is when the start, if the lowest ever time is 0, you're never going to beat that. So we need to set it at the start of the game. We need to set it as a the very first time you run it needs to be set to a really high value. So what you can do here is say, okay, just highest lowest ever time. Just create a block like that and do it like whatever, like 6,000 or something. There you go. So there. Now the lowest ever time is 6,000. So if you do get to that point where it's, if you get, obviously you're going to get lower than 6,000. Once you completed the game the first time, then you were going to say, okay, if your score's lower than that, then we update the lowest ever time to that time. So let's do that. So what we do is do another if statement. There we go. There we are. And if the if my time is less than the lowest ever time, so there's the less than. So if my time is lower than the lowest ever time, then what we do is we set the lowest ever time to time. There we go. So at the end of the game, if the level is number 5, which is the end of the game, it will set, if the time is less than the lowest ever time, it will update the time, and then it should stop all scripts. So let's find that out. Also is, I don't want the lowest ever time to appear always in the game. I only want it to appear on either the start screen or at the very end screen. So here we can say, okay, when start clicked, it's going to show. So where's our looks? Oh, No, not that one. So it's going to be here, isn't it, in the variables? So it's a different place to show it. So what we can do here is variables. There we go. At the start of the game, let's just move him out of the way. Thank you. Show the variable lowest ever time, which is good. When we start the game, we're going to hide it. So we'll put it in there. Hide the variable lowest ever time. Here, when we got the end of the game here, we're going to show the variable, again, show the variable lowest ever time. There we go. And that'll appear at the bottom. So now, hopefully, if we press start, there we go, lowest ever time. Click that, it now hides. And if we get all the way to the end, it should work. Let's find out. There we go. Whoop. Actually, I just realised that I've disabled the other script temporarily at the moment. So there you go. Brilliant. So game complete, which is perfect. The time was 20 seconds. And because it was lower than that 6,000 we just set, it set the lowest ever time to 20 seconds. So that's perfect. That's all we need to do. What I will do now, though, just to make sure it's still working properly, is this touching colour there needs to be set back to the proper touching colour. There we go. Good. So hopefully now, hey, there you go. It's all working fine. So there you go. That's the game all finished, ready to rock. In terms of improvements, you're going to want to add some sound effects, maybe some music, depending on which level it is. And add, I think these sorts of games, the best way to do it is just to create lots of good levels, but really think about the quality of your levels. Make each level different in some way, unique. Maybe think of a theme that runs all the way through it. That would work. But it's a lovely project, a great little project, and I hope that you enjoy it. Okay, good luck scratching.